Hi everyone, my name is Satyam Shanker Sahai and today we'll be doing the February month GK revision. The way we plan to cover this session is the first 15-20 minutes I'll give you an overview of the important topics and followed by our HOD Priyanka Dhillon who is going to do a detailed analysis of these topics, right? So I'll just give a list of these 35-40 topics which we feel is important and that you must study. A few of these topics would require a detailed research, right? So the topics that we feel are important. So just to give you a brief overview. First, the Unified Civil Code, right? Uttarakhand is the first state in India to implement the Unified Civil Code. It's not that it is the only state which has UCC. Goa, where Portuguese law was prevalent, and in 1961, when Goa became independent, the Portuguese law followed, right? And so UCC is already active there, right? But in independent India, the first state to get UCC is Uttarakhand, right? So this is a very important topic, right? Second, electoral bonds, the abrogation of electoral bonds, right? So under 19(1)(a), Supreme Court says that it is against the right to information and therefore it's been cancelled, it's been abrogated, right? It's a lot in the news. You should know about electoral bonds. They were introduced in the year 2018 and in February, electoral bonds have been scrapped now, right? So State Bank of India, which issues the electoral bonds in multiples of 1,000, 10,000, maximum till once a year, and they can issue multiple bonds. They have been asked to stop and give a complete report of the electoral bonds over the years, right? Yesterday there was a hearing in the Supreme Court in which the court, came heavily um, uh, on the government and the SBI to, declare the beneficiaries of the electoral bonds. Third, BAFTA Awards. So BAFTA Awards is the British Film Festival, and the awards were held in London. And you should know who the winner, the best actor, Cillian Murphy, Poor Things, Emma Gladstone, Oppenheimer, the best movie, best supporting actor, Robert Downey Jr., right? So you should know about the BAFTA Awards. Fourth, Grammy Awards. Now, why is Grammy Award important? Grammy Award is important because the Indian uh, team called Shakti and the album The Movement, which has Shankar Mahadevan and Zakir Hussain, right? They won the Grammy, right? So that's why Grammy is important because of the team Shakti and the album is called The Movement, right? The album is called The Movement. And we have Shankar Mahadevan and Zakir Hussain, right? The Tabla Maestro. All right. Then fifth is the BIMSTEC Aquatic Championship. Now, the Aquatic Championship is not really important. What's important is that it was held for the first time, and BIMSTEC as a group, you should know about it. Priyanka ma'am is going to take this in detail. The headquarters is in Dhaka, and it is seven-country organization around the Bay of Bengal, which has two countries which are not, which are landlocked countries, Nepal and Bhutan. But otherwise, all the other countries like Thailand, Myanmar, Bangladesh, India, Sri Lanka, and Maldives, seven countries which are part of BIMSTEC, right? So you should know about BIMSTEC. That's why it's important. The aquatic competition was held in Shyama Prasad Mukherjee Stadium, that is Talkatora Stadium in Delhi, and India was the winner in that, right? Sixth is the 13th Ministerial Conference of WTO. Now, this is the highest body of the World Trade Organization. So you should know about World Trade Organization and what was the um, what was before World Trade Organization, right? The predecessor is GATT, right? So you should know about GATT and you should know about the World Trade Organization, right? So this is important. The 13th WTO ministerial meet, and this was held in Abu Dhabi, right? Seventh, BAPS. So this is the largest stone uh, made out of stones, largest stone temple, Hindu temple, again in Abu Dhabi, right? And this was inaugurated by Prime Minister Modi. BAPS. All right. So there are a couple of important things as far as these temples are concerned. One is definitely BAPS. The second one is the Kalki temple in a place called Sambhal in UP, and this is one of the ninth avatars of Vishnu, and this has come up in place called Sambhal in UP, right? Then one more is uh, the unveiling of Sri Ravidas statue, Sri Ravidas statue. This is in Varanasi. And the fourth is 10th is Ahan Modi. So this Ahan Modi was uh, in UAE again, right? So these four things where we have the Prime Minister as the Karta Dharta. So he inaugurated BAPS, inaugurated Kalki Devi Mandir, Sri Ravidas Banaras, and Ahan Modi, which was an event in UAE around Prime Minister Modi, right? Next, couple of space launches that we should know. 10th is INSAT 3D launched. INSAT 3D launched by GSLV, right? And GSLV is also called the Naughty Boy. And the reason it is called Naughty Boy is because of 15 launches of GSLV, four of them have been failure. So that's why 11 on 15 is a success record. That's the reason it's called Naughty Boy. After this launch, which is the 16th launch, it is called the Disciplined Boy now. So this again was from Sri Harikota, right? So GSLV typically is used for high payload launches. Okay. Next, 11 is so after the Apollo mission, the US, there's this company there by the name of Intuitive Technologies, right? They were the ones who made this satellite, and this was project was given to them by NASA, and the first private company, Odyssey, is the name of this project, and Falcon 9, which is a SpaceX rocket for heavy load launches. It was used to launch this. So Odysseus is, you should know about Intuitive Technologies, Intuitive, and the space project is called Odysseus, right? 12th, there is now a 100% FDI in the space sector. So India has announced 100% FDI in the space sector. So which means that this sector is going to get a lot of fillip because there's going to be a lot of investment. We're going to see a lot of launches and private companies coming and investing in the space project. So India and Myanmar has got 1643 kilometers of boundary. If you look at Myanmar, Myanmar shares a boundary with Arunachal Pradesh, then we have Nagaland, and then we have Manipur, and we have Mizoram, right? So, and of course, Bangladesh is separate. So, the boundary that we have with Myanmar, the capital is Rangoon, is about 1643. So earlier Burma, erstwhile Burma, which was part of uh, Burma, which was part of India, and 1937 Burma became independent, and you know, so a line was drawn here, but the ethnicity has been the same families broken by this diwal or the wall. That's the reason they were allowed to move 16 kilometers. So this free movement is for about 16 kilometers. Now this started in 2018 when Aung San Suu Kyi was the head of uh, Burma, right? So that's about it. So this FMR has been cancelled. Next is 13 is done. Next we have is 14 is the legalized same-sex marriage is legalized in this country called Greece. You have to link things now. Now, the moment you see Greece, their prime minister was invited for the Raisana dialogue, right, recently. So, Greece is a country which has legalized the same-sex marriage. Why it is important is because it's an Orthodox Christian country which has allowed this, and the first country, European country, to legalize same-sex marriage is Netherlands, right? Netherlands, which is also called as Holland, right? Next, we're going to read about 15 is FATF. Okay, so FATF is now Dubai has been removed from the grey list. So this is basically an organization that looks into uh, uh, hawala money or financial frauds, terrorism financing, right? So FATF is very, very important, right? So UAE has been removed from the grey list. So UAE must have got some compliances, and because of which, it's been removed from the grey list, right? You should also know that there is a blacklist, right? So a country that has, is into a grey list or a blacklist, these are companies which are generally avoidable in terms of, investment. So the moment you're out of grey list, UAE can expect, more investment. Okay, the other country which is out of the grey list is Barbados, for instance, right? Now there is a blacklist here, and the blacklist is Myanmar, Iran, and North Korea. So these are the countries that are in the blacklist. So please read about FATF, and the headquarters of FATF is in Paris, right? And India is a signatory um, to FATF, right? Next is 16 is the Asian team badminton championship, and this was won by India. So we are talking about the women's team, right? India defeated Thailand, and the place where it was held is called Shah Alam, which is in Malaysia. So it is quite a big achievement by the Indian women's team, and it shows that India is a powerhouse in badminton, and it's such a big confidence booster before one of the biggest tournaments for badminton is the Uber Cup, right? So the Indians are doing pretty well as far as badminton is concerned. You see, Khel Ratna Award went to Chirag Shetty and Reddy, and they have recently won the French Open, right? So Indians are doing pretty well as far as badminton is concerned. Okay, then we have 17. I would say is the T20 under 19 World Cup, which was held in South Africa, in which Australia defeated India. Okay, so Australia, they are the world champions of under 19 men's. right? Then 18th, again, uh, we have the SAF. I'll stick to sports for a bit. The SAF, uh, the SAF Asian Championship. So this is basically to do with football, in which India and Bangladesh are joint winners, right? So SAF, which is basically for hockey. So India and Bangladesh, they are the joint winners, and this was under 19. Okay. Then Khelo India 19. Khelo India Winter Games. I had covered this in the January monthly GK also, because then the games had just started. Now it concluded in February, Winter Games, and this was won by the uh, Indian Army, right? So, and you should know the mascot, which is Sheeny Sheen, which is basically nothing but a snow leopard. So also you should know that recently this country, Kazakhstan, has made snow leopard the national symbol, right? Snow leopard is a national symbol of Kazakhstan. Also, we came with this snow leopard population, and Ladakh has got the maximum population, right? And India has got some 718 snow leopards, in which Ladakh has got more than 400 snow leopards, right? So that's Khelo India Winter Games, which was won by the army. And Sheeny Sheen, which is nothing but snow leopard, is the mascot, right? Then 19, so 20. Yeah. So we have uh, the hockey FAF games. So this is basically a team of five that plays. So the men's as well as the women's championship. So this was a world championship that was held, and this was won by Netherlands, right? So in the women's championship, they defeated India. So that's why FAF uh, five FAF it becomes important, right? So this is a team of five. So this is the first time this championship was held. Yes. 21st, um, Ashwin becomes the second Test cricketer to cross 500 plus wickets. Ashwin, right? And before this, the only Indian who's got more than 500 wickets is Anil Kumble, right? So that's why Ashwin, this becomes important. 22nd, yeah, will be Sudarshan Setu. Sudarshan Setu. So this bridge was inaugurated by the Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, and this bridge is from a place called this is in Dwarka. So the place is called Betwa Dwarka. Dwarka to starts with the word O. I'm just forgetting it. I'll just put that down. 23rd is the highest bridge, arc bridge, which is on Chenab, right? So highest or tallest arc bridge, right? So you should know about the Chenab bridge, right? Then 24th we have the new Lokpal. So this is after Justice Pinaki Ghosh, who retired in 2022. Now we have a new Lokpal, and his name is former Supreme Court judge, which is A.M. Khanwilkar, right? So please read about what are the powers of Lokpal. So basically, they work towards stopping corruption. All right. Next, I think it was on 28th or 29th. Anyways, so ICG, International Court of Justice. Now we have the new president there, and that's Nawab Said, right? He's from Lebanon, right? So ICJ judge is appointed for a period of 9 years, and Justice Dalbir Bhandari is an Indian judge, and we have had 4 judges at the ICJ. All right. 29th is the Raisina Dialogue, right, which is held by the Ministry of External Affairs and the Observers India. And this time we had the Greece president as a chief guest, right? 30th is the World Wetland Day. This is 2nd February. So this is basically on the 2nd Feb 1971 in a place called Ramsar. We had the first Ramsar conference, and this is basically to conserve and any area which is marshy or to do with water. So that's area that we're trying to protect, right? So we have added 5 more Ramsar sites. India became a signatory in 1982, and we have added 5 more sites. 2 are in Tamil Nadu and 3 in Karnataka, the 5 that we have added. So please read about it. And Tamil Nadu has got the maximum Ramsar sites in India. Tamil Nadu, (16), right? And the second state is Uttar Pradesh, right, which has the largest number of Ramsar sites. January news, I remember I told you guys there were 3 wetland sites which were added. One was Indore, Bhopal, and Udaipur, if I'm not mistaken. So these sites were added, right? 31. Okay. Then we have important days, the National Women's Day. So National Women's Day is 13th of Feb. Now this is you should know the theme. That's very important. And this is the same day Sarojini Naidu was born. So this the Nightingale of India.
We are back with the monthly current affairs, which are perfectly curated towards your CLAT as well as ELIT preparation. So of course, सारे के सारे current affairs इसके अंदर possible नहीं है, तो वो class में होंगे, through the magazines भी होंगे. But these are certain topics that you absolutely cannot afford to miss. So the very first one that we are going to start off with is the Uniform Civil Code in Uttarakhand. Now for the ones who don't understand what this is, ये Article 44 of the Constitution में लिखा गया है कि civil laws जो हमारे देश के हैं वो हर एक इंसान के ऊपर irrespective of the differences in their religion and their religious personal laws, ये सिविल लॉज हर एक के ऊपर यूनिफॉर्मली एप्लीकेबल होने चाहिए. मतलब शादी, डाइवोर्स, अडॉप्शन, सक्सेशन, मेंटेनेंस एक्सेट्रा के ऊपर जो लॉज हैं वो उतने ही एक हिंदू के ऊपर एप्लीकेबल होने चाहिए जितने एक मुस्लिम, क्रिश्चियन, पारसी, जैन, सिख, बुद्धिस्ट. Now this, my friends, is a non-justiciable as well as a non-enforceable right, because right to profess, practice and propagate my religion is my fundamental right. However, this is very much a part of the visionary document or the part of the constitution called the Directive Principles of State Policy. तो जब भी सरकारों को लगे कि ये ज़्यादा फायदेमंद है, स्ट्रीमलाइन करेगा लीगल प्रोसेस को, अगर हम सारे के सारे सिविल लॉज एक ही अम्ब्रेला के अंदर डाल दें और पर्सनल लॉज ना लागू करें, तो ऐसे टाइप की सरकारें यूसीसी को अप्लाई कर सकती हैं. The very first state जहाँ पे UCC applicable है is of course Goa. Not that Goa had to pass a law for it, because Portuguese जब उनके ऊपर राज कर रहे थे तो वो एक यूनिफॉर्म कोड के साथ ही हमारे देश का पार्ट बने हैं. Uttarakhand has recently made this law and they are in the process of making rules to implement this law. Hence, Uttarakhand becomes the first Indian state to have passed an act for the implementation of the Uniform Civil Code, right? So what all do we have to keep in mind over here? Of course, I've already told you. So Article 44 DPSP, ये already आपको बता दिया है. लिखा क्या है उत्तराखंड की लॉज में कि लिव इन रिलेशनशिप्स को हमें रजिस्टर करना पड़ेगा. क्यों रजिस्टर करना पड़ेगा? कि डोमेस्टिक वायलेंस मेंटेनेंस का केस अगर कभी हो जाए तो एटलीस्ट सरकार को पता होना चाहिए हु इज इन अ लिव इन रिलेशनशिप एंड हु इज नॉट. They have foregone with the concept of illegitimate children, which is a good thing because now those children will get all the rights and they will not get the social stigma of being an illegitimate child. Committees are very, very important for our CLAT as well as our ALET exam. So Justice Ranjana Prakash Desai committee was the one that gave the recommendations to the Uttarakhand cabinet that yes, we need UCC. Once they did that, we prepared a bill. That bill got converted into an act, and for the implementation of that act, the rules are being made by a committee that is being headed by Shatrughan Singh. So इन दोनों का नाम हमारे लिए important. इस टॉपिक में से इतना ही. Let's go ahead. The next thing is to do with the electoral bonds. So what I'm doing here is I'm giving you snapshots of whatever is important. Of course, in detail will be done in our classes. Now, electoral bonds were used to be one form of mode of donation for a political party. Now, why does a political party need donation? जैसे हर एक कंपनी हर एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन को अपनी मार्केटिंग करनी होती है, उसी तरीके से पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज को भी मार्केटिंग करनी होती है. एंड इन टुडेज डे एंड एज मार्केटिंग विदाउट अ लॉट ऑफ फंडिंग इज अ लिटिल प्रॉब्लमैटिक. सो ये वाला डोनेशन का एक जरिया, इसको बोलते थे इलेक्टोरल बॉन्ड्स. Now, if I use the term, if I talk about the term bond, now what does a bond basically mean? Bonds are basically a term that is used for long-term debt instrument. लंबे समय के कर्जे के इंस्ट्रूमेंट को हम क्या बोल देते हैं? बॉन्ड्स. लेकिन ये कर्जा नहीं है. जब हम ये पैसा देते थे पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज को, तो पार्टीज उसको अपने मन मुताबिक यूज कर सकती थी, ऑफ कोर्स अंडर लीगली. सो इसका मतलब ये एक ऐसा बॉन्ड था, एक टाइप का डेट इंस्ट्रूमेंट था, जहां पे कोई भी the parties were not getting any kind of interest out of it. The second thing we can keep in mind is this was introduced in 2018, and when it was introduced, this is under Arun Jaitley. So he was the one who introduced it. ये second question पूछा जा सकता है. इधर से ही पता चल रहा है कौन इसको issue करता था? State Bank of India, but not all the banks under State Bank of India, only certain branches. The denominations under which we could purchase this was 1,000, multiples of 1,000, 10,000, 1 lakh, 10 lakh, 1 crore, like that, right? And of course, जब हम डाल रहे थे ये पैसा, जैसे हर एक चेक में भी और टॉप राइट कॉर्नर में एक वैलिडिटी पीरियड या एक मैच्योरिटी पीरियड लिखी होती है, यहाँ पे भी वैलिडिटी पीरियड है कि कितने समय में these political parties could have withdrawn the money, and that validity period used to be 15 days. Now, under this particular case called Association for Democratic Reforms versus Union of India, very, very important. You see, in CLAT 2022, ALET 2022, the name of the EWS judgment was asked. This is in news. It is important for us. Now, what did they say? ये पूरी की पूरी डोनेशन में कौन सी पार्टी को मैं पैसा दे रही हूँ ये लिखा हुआ है, बट मेरा नाम नहीं लिखा हुआ. This is like an anonymous donation that I'm making. You don't have a right to know that which corporate, which person is giving how much money to which party, so that I can analyze, is that party favoring that individual or that corporate? It's as simple as that. और अब सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने ना ही इलेक्टोरल बॉन्ड्स को खत्म कर दिया, लेकिन बोला कि आपको फटाफट से फर्निश करने अपने सारे डिटेल्स कि कौन सी पार्टी को कितना पैसा मिला. कब पैसा मिला? They tried to, procrastinate this, but the Supreme Court says nothing doing. 15th March, we need this. So we will keep reading the news with respect to that. And कौन सी political parties को इसमें पैसा मिलता था? Registered political parties registered with the Election Commission of India. And in the previous Lok Sabha or Vidhan Sabha elections, such parties should have gotten at least 1% of the valid votes. So this is what we need to keep in mind. Let's go ahead and talk about the next one. Right, now what are we talking about? The next thing is the 13th Ministerial Conference that took place very recently in 2024. तो farmers का protest हमें पता है, ये भी पता है कि minimum support price एक legal right वो मांग रहे हैं. शायद हमें बहुत बच्चों को शायद ना पता हो that WTO करके एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है that says ऐसे टाइप की सब्सिडीज देना is not very conducive for trade. ये ट्रेड को खराब कर देता है. एक गारंटीड प्राइस जब आप एक प्रोड्यूसर को दे रहे हैं तो वो प्रोड्यूसर उस गुड की क्वालिटी को बेटर करने की कोशिश ही नहीं करेगा. दिस इज द मेंटालिटी ऑफ द WTO. Now keeping that in mind, farmers are also on a protest. Of course there are other things and we will discuss that, but WTO as an organization for Clat and AILIT becomes very important. So let's try to understand. पहली बात तो when they meet each other, it is known as a ministerial conference. ये मिनिस्टेरियल कॉन्फ्रेंस इनकी हाईएस्ट डिसीजन मेकिंग बॉडी होती है जो 2 साल में एक बार मीटिंग होती है. कोविड में नहीं हुई थी. इस साल कौन सी एडिशन हुई है ये भी सवाल आ सकता है. सो द 13th मिनिस्टेरियल कॉन्फ्रेंस एंड ऑफ कोर्स कहाँ पे हुई? सो दिस हैपेंड इन अबू धाबी इन यूनाइटेड Arab Emirates, right? So now WTO की अगर हम बात करें तो when was this made? This was made on the 1st of January in 1995. Before that we had something called GATT, General Agreement on Tariff and Trade. एक agreement जो 1948 में तकरीबन 23 countries ने साइन की थी. But then they felt अगर agreement की बात कोई नहीं माने तो हम कहाँ जाएंगे? Hence let's make an organization which will have a dispute settlement body, ताकि अगर कोई agreement ना माने we are able to take care of it ourselves. And hence that led to the formation of the World Trade Organization under this agreement called the Marrakesh Agreement. Another thing which is important for you is the Director General का नाम, उसकी nationality. हर एक डायरेक्टर जनरल बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, पर ये पहली महिला है जो कि वर्ल्ड ट्रेड ऑर्गेनाइजेशन को लीड कर रही है. इट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर अस. काइंडली कीप दैट इन माइंड. एंड जिनेवा स्विट्जरलैंड में WTO इज बेस्ड आउट ऑफ दैट प्लेस. 164 मेंबर्स है एंड ऑफ कोर्स इंडिया इज आल्सो अ मेंबर है. एक कंट्रोवर्सी थी यहाँ पे थाईलैंड के रिप्रेजेंटेटिव के साथ. काइंडली रीड अबाउट इट एंड वी विल डेफिनेटली डिस्कस इट इन आवर क्लासेस. राइट, लेट्स गो अहेड. The next one is from this field of space. I'm saying it again and again. Space is very important for us क्योंकि हमारा साल ही space के एक मिशन से शुरू हुआ था, मिशन एक्सपोजैट. अब क्या है? पहली बात तो हम लोगों ने we have put 3 news over here from the field of space. The very first one is 100% FDI will be allowed in the space sector. तो इससे क्या फर्क पड़ेगा? इससे ये फर्क पड़ेगा that the private players will also come in. We will get more funding. Hence we will be able to do more missions and we will have upgraded paraphernalia, upgraded launch vehicles, right? A lot of more launch sites maybe. So that is what has happened here. The second thing is this naughty boy that has become a disciplined boy now. So the naughty boy is basically the launch vehicle called GSLV, जो कि कभी कभार तो बिल्कुल बढ़िया काम कर जाता है, कभी कभार नहीं करता, इसीलिए naughty boy बोला. अब इस बार काम कर लिया, so we've said naughty boy has now become a disciplined boy. So this particular mission was the Indian satellite mission, 3DS satellite करके है, जो कि basically meteorological satellite है ना. It is there to study the weather, the climate, the change, so on and so forth. So क्या सवाल आ सकता है कि naughty boy satellite कौन सी है, कौन से लॉन्च व्हीकल के साथ रिलेटेड है? लॉन्च व्हीकल का फुल फॉर्म पूछा जा सकता है, जियोसिंक्रोनस सैटेलाइट लॉन्च व्हीकल. एंड ऑफ कोर्स व्हाट इज द पर्पस फॉर इट. अच्छा, फिर इस पर्टिकुलर मंथ में, इन द मंथ ऑफ February, we also read that after 1974, for the first time, an American satellite spacecraft has actually landed on moon. The last time, sorry, not 1974, 1972, the last time this happened was Apollo 17, and this time around this is Odysseus, right? तो इसका नाम हमारे लिए important and it was launched on SpaceX. कौन सा वाला रॉकेट? Falcon 9 रॉकेट नासा ने लॉन्च किया. ऑफ कोर्स अमेरिका की बात हो रही है. So that is what you can keep in mind from here. Let's go ahead. This one comes from the state of Manipur. तो पहली बात तो यहाँ पे आप देख पा रहे हैं कि ये यहाँ पे कुछ मणिपुर की बात हो रही है और मैतीस की बात हो रही है एंड कुछ कुकीज एंड ट्राइब्स के बारे में बात हो रही है. From the previous year, we saw that there's this huge issue. In one simple line, if I say so, the Maitis are more in number. They get less place to stay. The tribes are less in number, but because they are tribes and they get these constitutional safeguards, they have more land to stay in Manipur. Hence, Maitis don't like it. Even cookies and zomis feel नहीं ये तो हमारा हक है, आप कैसे छीन रहे हो हमसे ये हक. तो मुद्दे की बात ये आती है कि एक रेजीम था. उस रेजीम को हमने क्या बोल दिया? फ्री मूवमेंट रेजीम. इस रेजीम में इंडिया और म्यांमार के बीच का 1643 किलोमीटर्स. और कौन सी बॉर्डरिंग स्टेट्स हैं? वी कैन लर्न इट दिस वे. दिस इज अरुणा मामी. हाँ, सो अरु स्टैंड्स फॉर अरुणाचल प्रदेश, NA स्टैंड्स फॉर नागालैंड, MA स्टैंड्स फॉर मणिपुर एंड MI स्टैंड्स फॉर मिजोरम. अब इसमें हमने क्या किया? हमने हिल ट्राइब्स को अलाउ किया कि दे कैन क्रॉस द बॉर्डर एंड फ्री मूवमेंट दे देंगे. एक बॉर्डर पास मिल जाएगा आपको, पास की वैलिडिटी मिल जाएगी. अच्छा, कितना कितना मूव कर सकते हैं? 16 किलोमीटर, अप टू 16 किलोमीटर्स ऑन आइदर साइड. कब शुरू हुआ था ये? 2018 में. एंड कितनी देर का बॉर्डर पास मिल रहा है? 1 साल के पास. आई हैव अ पास फॉर 1 year using which I can go on either side for 16 kilometers. I can even stay there. And for how long? Up to 2 weeks. So, what these states are saying, and primarily Manipur is saying, is that so many tribes have already come here and they refuse to go back and now they're staying in Manipur. And hence they are, this is our land and they shouldn't really take this away from us, and we should be allowed to take care of our land and to live here and to utilize it the way we want to. So hence they have suspended the free movement regime in this particular month, which is what is important for us. Let's go ahead. The next topic is from same-sex marriages. Of course, very, very important for us, क्योंकि ग्रीस एक पहली ऑर्थोडॉक्स कंट्री है जिसने फर्स्ट ऑर्थोडॉक्स क्रिश्चियन कंट्री जिसने लीगलाइज किया है सेम सेक्स मैरिजेस को. ऑफ कोर्स कंट्री इज इन न्यूज, द कैपिटल एंड द PM becomes important. The PM is anyway important because of another news that we'll talk about in some time. And this is after decades of advocacy, right? अच्छा, फिर हमसे क्या पूछा जा सकता है? एक तो घाना के बारे में भी पूछा जा सकता है. घाना हैज ये बिल्कुल उल्टा पलटी मार दिया. दे सेड कि इट इज कंप्लीटली लाइक इलीगल टू इवन आइडेंटिफाई योरसेल्फ एज एन LGBTQI+ कम्युनिटी मेंबर. तो ये तो बिल्कुल उल्टा है. सेकेंड थिंग दे कैन आस्क अस कि सबसे पहला कौन सा ऐसा देश था जिसने सेम सेक्स मैरिजेस को लीगलाइज किया था, रिकग्नाइज किया था? सो नीदरलैंड्स. If they talk about our country, then the Supreme versus Union of India case is very, very important, है ना, जिसमें जो advocate थी उसका मैंने एक pioneers in legal system on International Women's Day, there is a video on that, kindly go and watch it, though that is very, very important. तो इसमें बताओ क्या है? सरकार ने बोला, मतलब सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने बोला that right to marry is a statutory right and not a constitutional right. Right to get married is not my fundamental right. Right to choose whom to get married to is definitely my fundamental right, है ना. पर right to marry fundamental right थोड़ी ना होएगा. नहीं तो फिर अगर मेरी शादी नहीं हुई, मैं तो सुप्रीम कोर्ट पहुंच जाऊंगी कि रिट इशू करो, मेरी शादी नहीं हुई है, ये तो मेरा फंडामेंटल राइट है. सो दे सेड कि ये वाला राइट देने का काम पार्लियामेंट का है. वी आर नॉट लॉ मेकर्स, वी इंटरप्रेट लॉ. Lawmakers are the legislature and let them make that kind of law. So that is what Supreme versus Union of India, basically India का stance ये है. ठीक है जी, ये बार बार पढ़ते रहेंगे और बिल्कुल एंड में जाके कितनी कंट्रीज ने लीगलाइज किया है सेम सेक्स मैरिजेस, ये एग्जाम से पहले करेंगे. फालतू का लर्न करने की जरूरत नहीं है, क्योंकि 4 और कंट्रीज आ जाएंगी, फिर +4 +5 करते रह जाओगे. Just 1 week prior to your examination or maybe 2 weeks prior to your examination, you just figure it out, how many countries, because अगर इतना रैपिडली चेंज हो रहा है नंबर तो वो पूछेंगे भी नहीं. लेकिन अगर स्टैटिक हो गया तो हम लोग कर लेंगे. The next one is this organization called the FATF, the Financial Action Task Force. 1989 में बनी थी. G7 countries ने ये बनाई थी, right? G7 countries कौन सी है? जापान, US, UK, इटली, कनाडा. देखो, EU is not a country, although you know यूरोपियन यूनियन की representation होती है, but it's a cluster of countries, no? So hence वो 7 के figure में नहीं आएगा. ठीक है. Then you have Germany and you have France. You don't have Russia because Russia was thrown out, right? Because of Crimea का annexation. So G7 countries ने बनाया, बोला मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग, टेररिस्ट फाइनेंसिंग को रोकना पड़ेगा. कैसे रोके? चलो यार एक टास्क फोर्स बनाते हैं. कंट्रीज को 2 हिस्सों में डिवाइड करते हैं, ग्रे लिस्ट, एक ब्लैक लिस्ट. ब्लैक लिस्ट गई गुजरी कंट्रीज जो कि हर रोज मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग, टेररिस्ट फाइनेंसिंग कर रहे, कांट डू एनीथिंग अबाउट इट. Don't do trade with them. These are trade sanctions. Grey lists, they have done a really bad job, but let's give them a warning. Maybe they'll get better. If they do get better, तो फिर उनको हटा देंगे ग्रे लिस्ट में से. और यही हुआ है 1 फरवरी में, UAE को निकाल दिया ग्रे लिस्ट में से. So that is a good thing. That means अब UAE के ऊपर ट्रेड सैंक्शंस नहीं आएंगे. मतलब UAE से अगर इन्वेस्टमेंट इंडिया में आएगी तो उसमें इतनी सारी रिस्ट्रिक्शंस नहीं होंगी, इंडिया के लिए भी अच्छा हो जाएगा, right? So hence another thing, India became a full member in 2010. What is a full member? So you see there are steps to membership. Just learn 2010. 39 members and Indonesia is the only observer member of it. And of course leadership के बारे में बात करें तो ये चेंज हो गया. पहले सिंगापुर के टी राजा थे, एलिसा डी एंड मद्राजो. Totally ruined the name, I don't care, but learn it, okay? Just bits and pieces of the name. She's from Mexico. Headquarters are in Paris and it was of course made in 1989. 4 बार कर लिया हमने ये. और UAE को हमने ग्रे लिस्ट से हटाया. अब आपका होमवर्क क्या है कि ग्रे लिस्ट में हाउ मेनी कंट्रीज आर देयर? बहुत सारी होंगी, सबका नाम नहीं लर्न करना, जस्ट द नंबर. ब्लैक लिस्ट में कितनी है, हाउ मेनी, एंड विच कंट्रीज आर देयर. Maybe you can write it as comment below once you're done with it, so that I know that you know there is some फायदा of making these videos. You're actually studying. Anyway guys, so this is FATF. Let's go on to the next one, BIMSTEC. BIMSTEC जनवरी में भी किया था, BIMSTEC अभी भी कर रहे हैं. अभी क्यों कर रहे हैं? क्योंकि सबसे पहला इनका एक स्पोर्टिंग इवेंट हुआ है. सो एक्वाटिक्स चैंपियनशिप इन लोगों ने किया है in 2024. A little bit about BIMSTEC, वैसे बहुत बार कर चुके हैं. But made in 1997 through the Bangkok Declaration. Headquarter is in Dhaka, and Shri Indramani Pandey is the Secretary General. Apart from that, of course, this is the very first inaugural thing. So it was started off or inaugurated by Anurag Thakur. He is the sports minister, right? And शोकेस बहुत ज़्यादा किया टैलेंट को. कौन सी कंट्रीज हैं यहाँ पे, दैट बिकम्स इम्पोर्टेंट. बांग्लादेश, भूटान, इंडिया, नेपाल, श्रीलंका, म्यांमार, थाईलैंड, इम्पोर्टेंट फॉर अस, राइट? अच्छा, ये इम्पोर्टेंट है. किसने लीड किया? इंडिया ने लीड किया. डू वी हैव टू लर्न कितने गोल्ड, कितने सिल्वर, कितने ब्रॉन्ज? नो, बट यू कीप इन माइंड 18 बिकॉज इट्स एन इनॉग्रल इवेंट. Right, second was Thailand and third was Sri Lanka. Best male swimmer was an Indian, best female swimmer was from Thailand. So Maria and Harsh. Such questions are important. You will have to learn it. A-lit में ज़्यादा आता है क्लैट से, लेकिन learn ज़रूर कर लेना. ठीक है, तो ये हो गया हमारा aquatic championship. Next आ गया बेटा World Government Summit 2024. This is the 11th edition of this summit that took place. Where did it take place? It took place in Dubai. कब से हो रहा है? 2013 से हो रहा है. थीम क्या था? Shaping future governments. World Government Summit is shaping future governments. Easy theme. Government is or shaping future governments can be the theme, or maybe you can learn the entire thing. It's just 3 words. Right? And then there were 6 things they spoke about. मैम क्या 6 के 6 लर्न करने पड़ेंगे? बिल्कुल नहीं लर्न करने पड़ेंगे. तुम थीम लर्न कर लो, उतना ही काफी है. हाँ, इंडिया को गेस्ट ऑफ ऑनर भी बनाया. प्राइम मिनिस्टर नरेंद्र मोदी हैड एड्रेस्ड द समिट एंड इंडिया वन द 9th गवर्नमेंट टेक्निकल अवार्ड्स. नाउ दैट्स इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर अस, राइट? दिस इज जस्ट फॉर योर अंडरस्टैंडिंग. And if you don't wish to study extra, which I'm sure you don't, then just leave that. अच्छा, then comes your Badminton Asia Championship 2024, जहाँ पे पहली बार इंडिया जीता, such kind of headlines, of course they are important for us. अब इसमें हमने क्या करना है, इंडिया जीता पता चल गया, लेकिन कुछ और देख लेते हैं. सो पहली बात तो फर्स्ट एवर गोल्ड मेडल, राइट, एंड मेडन टाइटल, राइट. India men's team have won 2 bronze medal in the previous editions, ठीक है. And this was a qualifier for the Thomas and the Uber Cup finals, ठीक है. ये भी बैडमिंटन टूर्नामेंट्स होते हैं, एक मेल के लिए एक फीमेल के लिए. सो पीवी संधू ऑल्सो डिड अ स्पेक्टाकुलर जॉब. एंड पेरिस ओलंपिक गेम्स के लिए ये एक स्टेप फॉरवर्ड है, इन द सेंस इट्स लाइक अ क्वालिफायर. सो इन दिस एंटायर थिंग द ओनली थिंग वी नीड टू लर्न इज, हाँ ये भी लर्न कर लो चलो कि हमने हराया किसको, तो हमने थाईलैंड को हरा दिया. Done, guys. I think that's that. Let's go ahead. The next one is again a sporting event. It gives me no happiness in saying that Australia has won yet again against India. And इसमें तो मतलब बहुत बड़ी बात है क्योंकि ये अंडर 19 में पहली बार हुआ है. तो अब लर्न करते हैं क्या क्या हुआ है. तो पहली बात तो कौन सा वाला है, अंडर 19 वनडे इंटरनेशनल वर्ल्ड कप. कौन सा एडिशन, तो 15th एडिशन. अच्छा, ऑस्ट्रेलिया ने कितने टाइटल्स जीत लिए इसके अंदर, 4 टाइटल्स, राइट. एंड पहली बार है कि फाइनल में इंडिया के खिलाफ दे वर स्टैंडिंग एंड दे वन. द लास्ट 3 times was, do you have to learn 1998, 2002, 2010? No, but do know that this is their 4th title. If we talk about India on the other hand, India has got 5 टाइटल्स. तो एक और तो हम लोग सेम हो जाएंगे और एक और तो फिर वो हमसे आगे बढ़ जाएंगे. चलो हम उनसे आगे बढ़ जाएंगे, वो हमसे कभी आगे बढ़ेंगे ही नहीं, जैसे however you want to take it. So top scorers were Adarsh Singh and Harjas Singh, right. Leading wicket takers were Ralph McMillan and Mahali, right. And yeah, so player of the tournament कर लेना, कोयना मफाका, सबका नाम का कचरा किया है, डजंट मैटर. नाम का फर्स्ट नेम लर्न कर लो, कोई इतना भी ज्यादा ओ माय गॉड वी हैव टू लर्न द एंटायर नेम, इट्स अ फिल इन द ब्लैंक थिंग, इट्स नॉट, राइट. इट्स एमसीक्यूज, इवन पार्ट ऑफ द नेम इफ यू रिमेंबर चलेगा, ठीक है. सो दैट इज दैट अबाउट दिस पर्टिकुलर थिंग. लेट्स गो ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट वन. ये हो गया स्नो लेपर्ड. इसकी बात हमने पिछली बार की थी, इफ यू रिमेंबर व्हेन वी टुक अ सेशन सर एंड आई, एंड स्नो लेपर्ड के सेंसस सर्वे के बारे में भी बात हुई थी. 718 स्नो लेपर्ड्स, लार्जेस्ट हाईएस्ट अमाउंट इन लद्दाख, देन हिमाचल, देन उत्तराखंड, लाइक दैट. So here what do we have to learn, just that who won and all of that. So who won, which team won, आर्मी टीम वन, ठीक है. कहाँ कहाँ पे हुआ था, लेह लद्दाख में भी हुआ था, गुलमर्ग में भी हुआ था. कौन सा एडिशन है, 4th एडिशन है. पिछले 3 एडिशंस किसने जीते हैं, जम्मू एंड कश्मीर. ये वाला एडिशन आर्मी ने जीता है, प्लीज कीप दैट इन माइंड, राइट. एंड मैस्कॉट वाज शहनशाह, या फिर शहनशाह करके बोलते हैं, एंड या फिर स्नो लेपर्ड, right. And first time Ladakh was also a host here, so kindly keep that in mind क्योंकि पहले Jammu and Kashmir has hosted it before, and of course that is also there. हाँ ठीक है, हो गया. Then Khelo India University Games, you can maybe relate it to Chandigarh. I don't know how you'll do that. So Chandigarh University has clinched the first title, 32 gold, 18 silver, 21 bronze. बहुत सारे इनको मेडल मिले, टॉप में आ गए ये लोग, ठीक है. बस इतना ही लर्न करो. सो होस्टेड अक्रॉस द 7 नॉर्थ ईस्टर्न स्टेट्स, दैट इज इम्पॉर्टेंट. द मैस्कॉट वाज अष्टलक्ष्मी, वेरी वेरी इम्पॉर्टेंट. एंड या, सो दैट्स इट. चंडीगढ़ यूनिवर्सिटी टॉप्ड. एंड लेट्स गो अहेड नाउ. दिस इज अबाउट द फुटबॉल फेडरेशन, है ना. अब इसमें क्या हुआ कि 11-11 का स्कोर था, फिर बोला अरे किसको जिताएं, इंडिया को जिताएं, बांग्लादेश को जिताएं, कहते टॉस कर लेते हैं. टॉस में इंडिया जीत गया, फिर बोला नहीं नहीं ऐसे नहीं जिताएंगे, जॉइंट विनर्स बना देते हैं. एंड दैट इज व्हाई इट्स अ हिस्टोरिक डिसीजन. सो यू नीड टू नो दिस इज ऑल्सो अंडर 19. अभी क्रिकेट का भी अंडर 19 की हमने बात की थी. सो इंडिया एंड बांग्लादेश, अनप्रेसिडेंटेड डिसीजन दैट देव बीन डिक्लेयर्ड जॉइंट विनर्स, right. I told you about the toss and everything. So this was the 5th edition. Please keep that in mind. The host country was Bangladesh. The top scorers were Shivani Devi, Pooja and Mosamad, and best player was also Mosamad Sagorika. SAFF का फुल फॉर्म ही पूछ लें शायद, लाइफ अगर हमारी इजी है तो। साउथ एशियन फुटबॉल फेडरेशन, फाउंडेड इन 1997, वही हमारा जब बिम्स्टेक भी बना था, बैंकॉक डिक्लेरेशन। And the president of SAFF right now is also from Bangladesh, Salahuddin, Qazi Salahuddin. So keep that in mind too. Let's go ahead. Okay. Let's go ahead and talk about the Chenab Bridge. Very, very pretty bridge, right? It's a marvel of engineering and all of that. So it was inaugurated. Chenab, अगर Chenab Bridge news में है, तो you guessed it right. इंडस रिवर हमें जाके अभी रिवाइज करनी पड़ेगी। ये हमने बहुत बार की है क्लास में, हम और भी करेंगे क्योंकि रावी रिवर का भी आएगा इसके अंदर। बट इंडस एज अ रिवर बिकम्स इम्पोर्टेंट, द फ्लो ऑफ इंडस, द ट्रिब्यूटरीज ऑफ इंडस, right, the hydroelectric plants that are in use of Indus, so all of that becomes important for us. ठीक है, सुंदर सा हमारा ब्रिज है, सुंदर भी है, और it is at 1178 feet above the riverbed, surpassing the Eiffel Tower, just saying, है ना। तो ये काफी important है हमारे लिए, और कनेक्ट भी करेगा कटरा से बनिहाल तक। तो it can be used for military strategic purposes also if need be, भगवान करे ना ही हो। अच्छा बेटा, फिर ये एक इम्पॉर्टेंट अपॉइंटमेंट है, बहुत ही ज़्यादा इम्पॉर्टेंट है। क्या है इसके अंदर? सो दिस बेसिकली इज अबाउट द अपॉइंटमेंट ऑफ द लोकपाल। लोकपाल का मतलब क्या है? फर्स्ट लेट्स ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट। सो लोकपाल इज बेसिकली एन ओम्बड्समैन, एन एंटी करप्शन ओम्बड्समैन। ओम्बड्समैन का मतलब क्या होता है? हमारे रिप्रेजेंटेटिव, ठीक है, जिसके पास जाके हम बोलेंगे कि सरकारी लोग बहुत ज्यादा करप्शन कर रहे हैं। सो लोकपाल एंड लोकयुक्त एक्ट बनी थी। लोकपाल इज द रिप्रेजेंटेटिव एट द यूनियन लेवल, और यही अगर राज्य सरकारों ने और सरकारी लोगों ने गलत काम किया, उनके खिलाफ करप्शन के केसेस हम कहाँ पे फाइल कर सकते हैं? लोकयुक्त में। बट मैम सेंट्रल विजिलेंस कमीशन, स्टेट विजिलेंस कमीशन तो ऑलरेडी है, तो इसको बनाने की क्या जरूरत? तो आप बताओ, विजिलेंस कमीशन के बाद क्या करप्शन खत्म हो गया? नहीं हुआ, तो नई चीज बना दी। बट मैम उसी चीज से काम करवा लेते, दैट इज ऑल्सो ट्रू। मैं सरकार नहीं हूँ, राइट? सो द पॉइंट इज दिस वाज एन अन्ना हजारे मूवमेंट। लोकपाल, द टर्म वाज कॉइन्ड बाय LM सिंघवी, एंड जस्टिस AM खानविलकर हैज बिकम द चेयरपर्सन। ही इज एन एक्स सुप्रीम कोर्ट जज, दैट मीन्स 65 के बाद ये आए हैं। अब 65 तो रिटायरमेंट एज इधर होगी नहीं, फिर क्या होगी? तो यहाँ पे रिटायरमेंट एज होती है 70 years और 5 years ऑफ सर्विस, विच एवर कम्स फर्स्ट। एक चेयरमैन होता है, 8 मेंबर्स होते हैं, 50% मेंबर्स शुड बी जुडिशियल मेंबर्स एंड 50% फ्रॉम स्पेसिफाइड कैटेगरीज लाइक पब्लिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन, लॉ, इकोनॉमिक्स, दिस एंड दैट, है ना। तो ये सब कुछ इसके अंदर आ जाता है। Next beta is another appointment. This appointment is of Nawaf Salam, and he has become the head of the International Court of Justice. क्या पूछा जा सकता है? पहली बात तो ये कहाँ के हैं? तो लेबनान के हैं। ICJ is a permanent is a principal organ of the United Nations, one of the 6 principal organs, the only principal organ which is not based out of New York. It is in the Hague, Netherlands. कितने जजेस होते हैं? तो 15, और इनका टर्म क्या होता है? तो 9 साल। ठीक है, 193 स्टेट पार्टीज एंड ऑल, यू डोंट हैव टू, जो भी UN के मेंबर्स हैं वो सारे। Then he is the first Lebanese and the second Arab to hold the position of ICJ. तो क्या पता पूछ लें पहला अरब कौन है? तो वो भी हमने लिख दिया, मोहम्मद बिन जावी, right, of Algeria was the first Arab to serve as the ICJ president. Year learn नहीं करना है, ठीक है। सोमोटो केसेस ICJ लेता नहीं है ना, इनके ऊपर कोई अपील वाली, इसके आगे कोई और there's no other court, so those are the things that you already know. अच्छा, ये पूछा जा सकता है, how many Indian judges have served at the ICJ? If that's the question, the answer is 4. Who was the first one? If that's the question, it is BN Rao. In many sites you will find Nagendra Singh. Kindly don't learn that. It is BN Rao. And who is right now representing India at the ICJ? That is Justice Dalveer Bhandari. रघुनंदन जी का नाम हमने छोड़ दिया, उनका भी बेचारों का नाम लर्न ही कर लो, ठीक है। अब इसके बाद आ जाता है राइसीना डायलॉग. Now, Raisina dialogue is basically a lot of countries coming together, having discussions about their geographical locations vis-a-vis their political and economic policy. माने हमारे we are sandwiched between Pakistan and China. Both want to eat into our territories. तो हमें ऐसे टाइप की पॉलिसीज बनानी पड़ेंगी ताकि वो ना करें ये. ऐसे टाइप की इकोनॉमिक पॉलिसीज, पॉलिटिकल फिलॉसफीज. तो यही वाली बात होती है राइसीना डायलॉग में. शुरू किसने किया? शुरू किया इंडिया ने. कब शुरू किया? 2016 में. और तब से लेके अब तक वी कॉल लाइक अ चीफ गेस्ट एंड अ लॉट ऑफ पार्टिसिपेंट्स. राइसीना क्यों बोलते हैं? दैट बिकॉज द नेम इज डिराइव्ड आउट ऑफ द राइसीना हिल्स, जहाँ पे राष्ट्रपति भवन वगैरह है दिल्ली में. So this was which edition? This was the 9th edition. You can see it over here that this man, जो सेम सेक्स मैरिजेस में भी हमने लर्न किया था, इनका नाम लर्न कर लेना, ठीक है. मित्सोताकिस करके आई हैव लर्नड इट. आपने जैसे करना है कर लो. सो चतुरंगा, कॉन्फ्लिक्ट, कॉन्टेस्ट, कोऑपरेट, क्रिएट. अगर बहुत ही तंग करने के लिए सी वाले सारे के सारे ऑप्शंस आ गए तो एक कॉन्फ्लिक्ट लर्न कर लो, एक क्रिएट लर्न कर लो. कॉन्फ्लिक्ट से क्रिएशन होती है, ठीक है. सो ग्रीस प्राइम मिनिस्टर हो गया. इट इज होस्टेड बाय ऑब्जर्वर रिसर्च फाउंडेशन अलॉन्ग विद द मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ एक्सटर्नल अफेयर्स. एंड ऐसे ही शैंग्रिला डायलॉग भी होता है, वो छोड़ो, ये राइसीना डायलॉग लर्न करो, ठीक है. शैंग्रिला क्या लर्न करना है, ओके. Now let's go on to the next one. This is rather simple. Ramsar sites. World Wetland Day कब होता है? 2 फरवरी को. एंड 2 फरवरी को हमने क्या किया? 5 और साइट्स ऐड कर दी. पहले कितनी थी इंडिया में? 75. अब कितनी हो गई? 80 साइट्स. कहाँ कहाँ पे लर्न कर सकते हो? नाम रहने दो, ठीक है. वो कितने ही नाम लर्न करोगे बेटा, अभी क्या पता एग्जाम तक और भी हो जाए, राइट. सो व्हेन वाज द रामसर कन्वेंशन साइन? 1971. व्हेन डिड इंडिया बिकम अ पार्ट? 1982. Your homework is the first 2 Ramsar sites of India. Kindly learn it up, tell me, write it in the chat box so that I know that this is beneficial for you, of India, right? अब अगर हम वेटलैंड्स की बात करें तो 2 फरवरी क्यों मनाया जाता है? बिकॉज 1971 में रामसर कन्वेंशन साइन हुआ था. एंड द थीम फॉर 2024 इज वेटलैंड्स एंड ह्यूमन लाइफ. हमारे देश में किस राज्य में सबसे ज्यादा रामसर साइट्स हैं? तो तमिलनाडु. द बिगेस्ट रामसर साइट इज द सुंदरबंस एंड द स्मॉलेस्ट रामसर साइट इज द रेणुका वेटलैंड विच इज बेस्ड आउट ऑफ हिमाचल प्रदेश. ठीक है जी, ये हो गया. फिर आ गए हम लोग इंटेलेक्चुअल प्रॉपर्टी राइट के ऊपर. एक इंटरनेशनल इंडेक्स होता है. इंडेक्सेस या इंडाइसेस की न्यूज में क्या लर्न करना होता है? एडिशन नॉट रियली, but who makes it? US Chamber of Commerce. This is important. Our position is 42 out of 55, which is a very, very bad position, by the way. It should get better. The US has come first. Second, third रहने दो. US first है, हम 42 हैं. 55 countries हैं. US Chamber of Commerce ये करता है. I mean, if you can see the irony behind it. Anyway. Now we will talk about the next one. Right guys, so the next one is about this dam project which is being built on the Ravi River. But before we go here, ये news में क्यों है? Of course Ravi River के ऊपर ये Shahpur Dam project बन रहा है. And this is for what? For power generation and irrigation in Punjab. अब why is it in news? Of course this is in news, but apart from that, this might, you have to understand that the Indus River, it starts from Tibet, goes into India, then thereafter goes to Pakistan. तो पाकिस्तान में ये न्यूज़ है कि if this dam is built, maybe the volume of water that comes into their part of the country will drastically get reduced. अब उनको जो बोलना है बोलने दो, दैट इज फाइन, बिकॉज अकॉर्डिंग टू द ट्रीटी ऑफ 1960, द इंडस वाटर ट्रीटी ऑफ 1960, सतलुज, ब्यास, रावी इज सपोज टू बी इंडिया का ओनली, राइट. चेनाब, झेलम, इंडस इज सपोज टू बी दैस, विच इज 77 ऑलमोस्ट 70% ऑफ द वाटर. सो उनको जाने दो जो भी उनको बोलना है. एक और चीज, द रावी रिवर इज द ओनली ट्रिब्यूटरी ऑफ इंडस दैट फ्लोज parallel to the Indo-Pak border for a little while. So you can keep that in mind too. Beta, the next thing is your awards. This award is known as the Jnanpith Award. 58th edition is important. ये editions A-Lit काफी ज्यादा पूछता है. क्यों दिया जाता है? इट इज अ लिटरेरी अवार्ड, इट इज वन ऑफ द हाईएस्ट ऑनर्स एंड इट इज गिवन इन विच लैंग्वेजेस? तो एक तो इंग्लिश हो गई और दूसरा हो गया 8th शेड्यूल. हाउ मेनी लैंग्वेजेस आर देयर इन द 8th शेड्यूल? सो कुल मिला के कितनी? 23. I'm saying that again and again because Sahitya Akademi Award is separate. उसमें राजस्थानी भी आ जाता है. And whom has it been bestowed upon? Jagat Guru Ramabhadracharya and also Gulzar. वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. हाँ, ये जरूर आप मन में मतलब ये लर्न कर सकते हैं कि ये एस्टैब्लिश कब हुआ था? 1961 में. आगे बढ़ते हैं. दिल्ली चलो मार्च बहुत बार बात कर ली है. सो लेट्स क्विकली टॉक अबाउट दिस. 2020 में प्रोटेस्ट हुए थे because of the 3 farm laws. The 3 farm laws were taken back, but the government had also promised the farmers that MSP will become your statutory right. That wasn't done. Right? 3 farm laws की बात कर ली and they said कि MSP को कैलकुलेट करने के बहुत सारे फॉर्मूले हैं. राइट? And these formulas have been made by Mr. M.S. Swaminathan, who's got the Bharat Ratna this year. He passed away last year. Now, the one that the government uses is A2 plus FL, but the one that the farmers want is C2, which is a little more. ठीक है? Plus, they wanted to be their legal right. Comprehensive 12-point agenda है उनका. सारे के सारे points learn नहीं करने, बस इतना दिमाग में रखना है. 12 points. जैसे लाखिमपुर खेड़ी में violence भी हुआ था. You know, there was this union minister's son who had basically he was driving a car and he killed farmers. And it was caught on the video, right? So something should be done for that. And so there are many other demands. So C2 I just told you, and WTO subsidy की बात हमने पहले कर ली थी. ये amber, blue और green boxes में, green boxes में there is no restriction. जैसे research and development की subsidy, right? Renewable energy की subsidy. Blue is production limiting. हमने क्या लर्न करना है? एम्बर, क्योंकि इसके ऊपर बहुत सारे लिमिटेशंस हैं, क्योंकि ये ट्रेड डिस्टॉर्टिंग सब्सिडीज है. WTO के अकॉर्डिंगली मिनिमम सपोर्ट प्राइस कम्स अंडर द एम्बर बॉक्स. राइट? ओके. देन इज योर UPI पेमेंट. अब UPI यूनिफाइड पेमेंट इंटरफेस, इट इज गोइंग ग्लोबल एंड इट इज बिन गोइंग ग्लोबल फॉर अ वेरी वेरी लॉन्ग टाइम. ये न्यूज में क्यों है? एक तो इट इज टू डू विथ France. If anything, you know, everything and anything with respect to France becomes important because the French president was the chief guest of the 75th Republic Day parade. So officially launch हुआ at the Eiffel Tower. अगर ये चीज हुई है तो of course, you know, we are getting a lot of money, we are getting a lot of popularity. Our digital public infrastructure is doing very well. ठीक है जी. ये बनाता कौन है? मतलब किसके अंदर आता है? NPCI, National Payment Corporation of India. It was made in 2008 by virtue of an act called the Payment and Settlement Act. मतलब एक्ट के द्वारा कोई भी चीज अगर बनी है then that is a statutory body. So the act was of 2007 and it was made in 2008. The chairman was Ajay Kumar Chaudhary, and the MD CEO is Dilip Asbe. बस ठीक है. पार्टनरशिप किसके साथ किया है? फ्रांस के लायरा कलेक्ट के साथ किया है. ये दिमाग में रख लेना. फिलीपींस में ILO, what is ILO? International Labour Organization. कब बना था? 1919 में. गिलबर्ट ह्यूम्बो is the one who is heading it. And it is based out of Geneva, Switzerland. But right now we are talking about one particular convention that says harassment नहीं करना workplace में, workers के साथ. And if you sign this particular convention, then you are bound to, you know, abide by it. Philippines has become the first country in Asia to ratify the Convention 190. Very, very important, right? And it was deposited with the ILO Deputy Director General. Deputy Director General रहने दो, गिलबर्ट ह्यूम्बो जरूर लर्न कर लेना. This is very very important for us, right? In fact, इनका जो external auditor है ILO का, that is our CAG, Mr. GC Murmu. ये इनका external auditor है. He is also the external auditor of WHO. That is something you can keep in mind. है ना? Like I said, it is an international labor standard dedicated to addressing violence and harassment at workplace. Fine, guys. Now, then this is the digital Schengen visas. Schengen visas या Schengen countries, ऐसी countries जहाँ पे बहुत ज़्यादा requirement नहीं है. There are no border controls when they go from one country to another. And no, guys, I'm not talking about the European Union. There are many countries not in the European Union, but they are in the Schengen zone and vice versa. UK is neither in EU nor is it a Schengen zone country. तो ये Schengen visa क्यों बना रहे हैं? फ्रांस ये क्यों कर रहा है क्योंकि पेरिस ओलंपिक्स आने वाले हैं, ठीक है. बिकॉज ऑफ दैट दे हैव इंट्रोड्यूस द डिजिटल शेंगन वीजास. सो दैट इज व्हाट यू हैव टू कीप इन माइंड, दैट दिस इज टू फैसिलिटेट द एंटायर पेरिस ओलंपिक ऑफ 2024. So families, athletes, coaches, blah blah blah, all of them will get it. Maybe your homework becomes कि कितनी, how many countries are there in the Schengen zone, है ना, and which is the latest one. Kindly write it down so that I know that you guys are learning. Now the next one is the AFIH Hockey 5S Women's World Cup. कौन जीता इसके अंदर? This particular tournament has been, the Netherlands has won this in the finals against India. कहाँ पे हुआ था? Muscat, Oman में हुआ था. Performance of India. Jyoti and Rutuja scored for India in the final match. You do not have to learn this. This is just if you're interested, it's okay. If you're not interested, even better. Right? Bronze medalist कौन है? तो first कौन है? Netherlands, second कौन है? India, and Poland is third. ये इंपॉर्टेंट है. ये जो टूर्नामेंट के अवार्ड्स होते हैं बेटा, ये इंपॉर्टेंट हो जाते हैं. तो बेस्ट गोल कीपर इज फ्रॉम पोलैंड, मार्टा. बेस्ट जूनियर प्लेयर इज दीपिका, इंडिया. टॉप स्कोरर इज टेरेसा, Uruguay, and best player is Noor, Netherlands. Noor from Netherlands, Teresa from Uruguay, Deepika of course is from India, and Marta is from Poland. ये learn कर लेना. ये थोड़ा faster pace वाला हॉकी होता है ना, जिसमें 5 players होते हैं, एक फिर substitute भी होता है. And so that is what this is. And the final one for today is the ISSF World Cup. This is the Shooting World Cup tournament that happened in Cairo. Right, and India का impressive total 6 medal tally था, and we led the medal table. That is very very important for us. तो 6 medals, 3 gold, 3 silver. ये तो easy है करने के लिए, बस इतना ही करना है. That is all from our end for this particular month, which is the month of February. Kindly don't, I'm not saying that this is the entire thing. That is what the classes are for. But these are certain topics that you absolutely cannot miss out on. So if you found this video informative, kindly like the video. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel, and we will keep coming back with such informative videos. Thank you.